What is up, everybody? Enderstorm here, and welcome back to another episode of Prophecy of the Throne. This is episode 13. Last episode, I left you guys on another cliffhanger. And I don't know what's going to happen next, but we are going to find Amelia now, for one. And, Pedicles kind of made last episode go real and, scary. Because the dude literally made me and Rem have to split up, and I died about 12 times trying to pass that episode, and I freaking cried myself to sleep. Not really, but still. It was so painful. Alright, but let's get right back into this. Alright, the white that smothers both blood and flame. Load the save data, baby. Let's get right back. Otto! The sky is orange as I approach the castle. But under the orange sky was a miserable scene, with the scent of blood and ash spreading all around me. There were corpses, one after another. I saw corpses upon corpses. I think I saw a lifetime's worth of corpses. Am I just gonna have to keep saying corpses in a kind of like action movie voice? Do people even see this much death in one lifetime?
How many people died?
The world was so cruel. It made me think everyone in the royal capital had died. But in the world where death runs rampant, only the royal castle is filled with affable casualties, because...
Snow. Cold white snow.
No.
Covers the husks of death underneath.
She died.
Death here is placid. Everything shrouded in ice. No diversity among friend or foe. Good.
So I'm gonna die no matter what.
I've heard that freezing to death is akin to falling asleep. That means everyone here must have died peacefully. Such salvation, however small, would be plenty to ease the mind. Considering how plentiful the death is that spreads out before me.
So I'm gonna die no matter what. The same way I died against Pedicles.
A shallow stutter leaks out of my mouth, and I realize I'm smiling. I don't know why I laughed just now. After running so hard, my body is hot, yet I don't sweat. The air is cold and intense, battering against my bare skin. My tears freeze as they reach my cheeks.
I really don't want to go back through this again.
Why? I must have been crying. I was powerless. I couldn't change anything. I felt it in my core. How pitiful I was. That's why.
You're too late.
I'm sorry, Puck.
Behind me, the royal castle crumbles with a thundering sound. But I don't turn to look.
That means Rem's gonna die. No.
My body can't move anymore. Am I standing? Or am I sitting? I can't tell. I'm really useless now. I know this is the end. Much like everything else that ended here, I too will end. This cold and freezing death will embrace me and end me.
Sleep along with my daughter.
A heavy voice roars from above, but I can't look up.
Puck doesn't sound pissed this time. Puck sounds calming, kind of. It's weird because Puck's usually very mad when Amelia dies, so he's just like sleep along with Amelia, and like it's really weird.
I can't do anything. Slowly, my consciousness fades.
I'm sorry, Subaru.
In the very end, my lips break off, crumbling away along with my mutterings.
And usually they make me read this stuff instead of Subaru. My final moment. Ah, there we go.
Let us press onward with diligence!
And we're back. Ah, loop 1. Are you kidding me? We're back at the beginning again, of course. I don't want to go this far again.
You really bring out the life in everyone, Subaru.
ReZero, why do you do this to me? What, can I just have a simple playthrough without any deaths? I remember the first words I said in this game was, I don't want to die. I think. I don't remember.
Subaru? Hey, what's wrong? Subaru!
My knees go weak, and I sink down under my own weight. Amelia shakes my shoulders with a frantic look on her face. I want to calm her, but I can't bring myself to. I've returned by death. Once again, I've returned to the first day of this loop. What did I experience? What just happened? The details are too terrifying to reflect on. What I clearly remember is a horrific sight of the royal capital in utter ruin. That man calling himself the Malevolent Masked Magician. And the witch cult having razed down to town. And the Sin Archbishop of the witch cult, Pedicles. Because of their torment, the royal capital was destroyed. No matter where you looked, a corpse would be found. That means I ended up as another victim, having returned by death. Actually, Puck killed you, though. But I don't think you know that yet. But I was prepared for this. I wanted to alter the timeline by strengthening our relationship. But this was no use. It wasn't enough. The fact that the royal capital ended up in shambles means everyone else there didn't survive either. Crochet, Anastasia, Feld, Priscilla, and Melty, and most importantly...
Amelia, too.
It's alright. Everything's okay. I'm right here, Subaru. You don't have to worry.
Suddenly I snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. No. Suddenly I snap back to reality. Amelia gently caresses my cheek. I haze and my head slowly clears. What I experience is burnt in my mind, searing my heart. But when I look at Amelia here and now, I regain some of the willpower I'd lost to stand back up.
Sorry. I just got a little dizzy.
It's okay, Subaru. I know what you went through. I'm watching over a screen.
That didn't look like something so minor. If something's wrong, please tell me.
Yeah, he watched people die so many times. He returned to death last episode so many times.
No, it's fine. I get dizzy like this sometimes. It happened before, remember?
That's right. It was when you fell asleep on Leah's lap.
Yeah, just like that. Wait, hang on. Puck, don't just casually bring up something so embarrassing.
You were the one who mentioned it in the first place. Sheesh, don't pin this on me. Anyway, there you have it, Leah. You shouldn't mull over Subaru's convulsive fits of crying or panicking.
That worries me in a different way.
What's up, Mealy?
You say you're okay. But you're not being honest with me, are you, Subaru?
No, he's okay.
If you ever feel like you can't take care of something
Physically,
by
but
yourself,
not
come
mentally.
talk to me. I'll let you off the hook if you at least promise me that.
Oh, Amelia, if only you knew what he saw. Except people are saying it's selfish that he dies now. In Season 2, if you guys have seen it. But, yeah.
Got it. Sorry, Mealy.
Don't apologize. If you're going to say something, say thank you. I'll do my best to
Thank
assist
you.
regardless.
I'll say it for you, Subaru.
Leah's a good girl.
Oh, no, I just
Don't make
skipped
her
that.
worry so much, Subaru.
Yeah, sorry. Puck, do you...
The only thing I can perceive is a vague impression of how you're feeling. So while I can tell something's troubling you, that's about all I can piece together. Even if you asked me for help, I wouldn't know where to begin.
Man, what an unreliable great spirit.
Yeah, that's a threat. Puck's probably gonna get angry at you now.
Rude. If something ever happens to Leah, I'll show you just how reliable I can be.
Oh. Yeah, he did threaten Subaru.
I'd rather not witness that.
Yeah, I don't think you should see that a third time. If something happens to Amelia, I know Puck is just joking around, but the flashback of what happened in the Royal Capital floods my mind
I
again.
won't let that happen a second time. That's
Don't
why...
you mean a third time? I've returned here to do something only I can do.
Jeez, you all can be really stubborn sometimes.
I mean, you kind of know his secret, but not completely. So, please just understand him, Puck. After she goes ahead, I only manage to catch up to Amelia right as she's about to enter through the gates of the mansion.
Dragon carriage in front of the gate.
I'd forgotten from all the shock, but Tiga and Sakura, the envoy and emissary sent to the royal capital, have arrived. It's Tiga!
Oh, so this is your companion. How interesting.
Tiga looks over me, top to bottom, and nods if he's confirming something in his mind. I'm not too thrilled about it, but...
Why did you tell him about me in such a short amount of time?
Oh, Subaru. I didn't tell him anything weird. I just asked him to wait because my companion has been causing a delay moping about.
Moping.
She's not wrong, but I wouldn't have put it that way.
There's no cause for concern. Even men like us need some time to brood.
Thanks
Yeah.
for the consolation. Mealy, don't you have some business to tend to inside?
Oh, yes, that's right. An emissary from the royal capital has visited us. But,
Don't worry about me. I'll just wait out here with my best bud.
Huh? Do you mean me?
oh,
Yeah.
really? I thought you'd much rather want to tag along and listen in.
Wait, you'd let me do that?
This is serious business, so no. Also, you were just sulking.
Uno
so-
reverse card.
Mealy, could you stop bringing that up, please? Make it sound like I'm some giant crybaby.
At times, but not really.
Yes, yes. Just don't be rude to our guests, Subaru.
After saying so, Amelia walks into the manor, though she does keep glancing back at me, probably out of concern. But who knows if she's more concerned about my mood or me being rude to Tiga.
Mealy, huh?
What about it? You got a problem with that?
No, I was just thinking of how casual you are with her with such informal name calling. You may be Miss Amelia's associate, but you're not of noble birth, are you? And considering your conversation, you're likely aware of her position. That's why I thought it ought to be rather amusing.
Oof. He called you out.
Your role isn't much different. Don't stand there and tell me that you're not involved in the royal selection somehow.
My, you don't beat around the bush, do you? What makes you think that?
Well, it'd be strange to send along a messenger who isn't involved in some way. It's only natural I think you have a hand in all this.
Ha. Except he knows everything. Well, not exactly. Sakura is pretty sus to me. I act as oblivious as possible in my reply to Tiga's question. I already know he and Sakura were sent to the royal castle and are part of Melty's faction. I also figured that knowing all this would put him in a little more on guard.
You've got a pretty good head on those shoulders. But what are you going to do knowing that? Will you strike down the messenger to weaken your enemy's forces?
That'd be way too risky. Don't worry, I won't do something so rash to my best bud.
I'm glad to hear it, my friend. Now that I think about it, I don't think my good friend has introduced himself.
I'm Subaru Natsuki. You can just call me Subaru or Bestie or whatever.
Yeah, just call him whatever. Hey, whatever!
Best what?
Bestie. Where I'm from, it means we're good pals.
Bestie, huh? Well, I suppose I'll call you that at some point. Anyway, I'm Tiga Raulian. As you surmised, I am part of the Royal Selection, having come here to shed some light regarding the matter. We are affiliates of the Transcendent Dragon Church. The higher-ups are pretty concerned about the proceedings of this Royal Selection.
I see.
Tiga isn't lying, but he's not telling me everything. In reality, Melty's camp works directly with the Transcendent Dragon Church, and Tiga is hiding the fact that Melty is the 6th royal candidate. Considering Tiga's apprehension with Melty, I understand his caution.
His concern for Melty, huh?
You said that out loud. I think Tiga might have heard that. I mull that thought over for a moment. When the royal capital is being ravaged, what were Tiga and Melty up to? Since they were inside the capital, they would have been involved in the turmoil. So what happened to them? Tiga isn't like me. He's quick-witted, and I bet he can hold his own in a fight. But I doubt he would have managed to protect Melty. But they would have been unscathed. Perhaps their hopes to survival have been crushed, and they became victims in the end too.
Hey, is something on your mind?
No, it's alright. When the chips are down, I'll be sure to save you and all those you hold dear.
That was way heavier than what I was expecting!
Tiga raises his voice, unable to hide his confusion at my resolve, or the reason behind it. Aside from his reaction, I once again solidify my determination. I'll definitely stop that tragedy this time. I need to find a way to save Amelia, Rem, and the citizens of the royal castle. But to do that... ...
Mealy shouldn't go to the capital.
Huh?
Oh, this is quite sudden.
Once Tiga and Sakura leave, I interrupt as usual, the usual conversation that takes place now. Everyone reacts differently after hearing my aversion to the idea. Though it's mostly surprise. It makes sense, doing this to keep Amelia from fulfilling her duties of the royal selection, after all.
Why are you suggesting that? It's an issue pertaining to the royal selection, so of course I have to go.
I understand, Mealy, I really do. But think about it. Postponing the royal selection is a big deal in itself. But rushing to the royal capital won't make a difference. If they were going to just tell us why it was postponed, the emissary would have done that already. Seeing as they didn't...
It's not something that can be explained so easily?
Exactly. That means if we want to find out what's going on, we need to ask around and figure it out ourselves. But is that something you're good at, Mealy? To be honest, I don't get the impression that you're good at gathering intel.
Well, I could ask the lesser spirits to direct me.
Yeah, but you'll get lost. Amelia trails off, realizing full well that the lesser spirits won't be of any use to us here. Knowing that her confidence dwindles, it hurts me seeing Amelia make the face like that, but I have to be blunt here.
If anyone finds out about Amelia, the chances of the witch cult making a move increases.
Last time, and before, they were what caused and unfolded. If the driving force of their actions is directly tied to Amelia's existence, we need to find a way to stop them. The battle with the Dust Bandits was the main cause of her renown. Subjecting those bandits surged her popularity. Of course, that was exactly what I was afraid of, so I tried to avoid running into the Dust Bandits last time, but that didn't pan out so well. The bandit encounter still occurred, even when I shifted the date. That brings up to new questions entirely, but the issue right now is finding a way to avoid them altogether. Since the bandits get defeated, even when the date of the event is shifted, I try not to... gosh dang. I just woke up, guys. Accompanying Amelia this time around, that should help avoid the issue with her fame.
That's just
with her fame.
measure.
Even if the mingle with the bandits, Amelia's name will still spread once the royal selection starts. The royal candidates' identities will be known all over the others. To see who their next potential ruler will be, that means the witch cult will attack sooner or later. But
Managed to delay the witch cult's response by a week or even a month. That changes how prepared we can get.
I need to squeeze out as much time as possible.
Exposing the fake candidate, amassing allies to help fight against the witch cult. It's hard having to do all of this. Am I prepared?
And if Miss Amelia is not to go, what will we do then, Barusu?
Good question. At times like these, it's crucial to scout and gather as much information in the beginning as possible. We can't overlook something so vital, so we'll need to send someone we can trust.
I see. That does make sense. Then who do we send?
Well, I was thinking we could send Rem and me to check on the situation at the royal capital.
Rom's gonna say, like, I don't trust you, Subaru, but I trust Rem.
I thought you said it should be someone trustworthy.
Yup.
Why are you nominating yourself, Barusu?
It's been more than a month since we met. What's it gonna take to gain your trust?
Do not make me laugh.
She scoffed at me.
I'm also opposed to it. Sending Rem is fine, but I don't think it's a good idea for you to go, Subaru.
Really? Really?
Even you.
It has nothing to do with that, Subaru. It's just, you were sulking earlier.
Why are you still bringing that up?
But that's not all. There's also Miss Amelia. May I? Ren? I understand why you are so uneasy, Miss Amelia. However, knowing this, I believe Subaru should accompany me to the royal capital.
She loves Subaru, that's why.
Subaru needs to have Master Felix heal his body after all.
Rem brings up the issue with my body to convince Amelia that is the arrangement with Ferris to conduct my treatment. Since Amelia wants me to receive my treatment, it's hard for her to outright reject Rem's argument.
That's true, but there is no cause for concern. Rem will take responsibility for Subaru. Rem will also thoroughly investigate the reason for the royal selection's postponement. I assure you, this is not merely a chance to be alone with Subaru.
Her last bit is a little less believable, but her reasoning is pretty sound. It's enough to leave Amelia muttering to herself as she ponders in a pretty cute way.
I completely understand your point of view, Subaru. I myself had reservations about sending Miss Amelia to the royal capital so frivolously. If you two can fulfill this task yourselves, you may do so. I give you my blessing.
I mean, at least we got past Roswell. Roswell gives a final word on the matter, settling this conversation once and for all. This time around, Rem and I are the only two going to the royal capital. That means we'll be on our own if the Dust Bandits attack.
Rem, I'll be counting on you.
Yes. Please leave it to your Rem.
Aw, Rem's so sweet. Her firm resolve gives me a little peace of mind. On the other hand, however, this endless wave of concern washes over Amelia when she realizes she'll be staying behind.
Don't do anything reckless, you two. And Rem, don't take your eyes off Subaru. Who knows what he'll get up to?
Oh, Rem won't.
Really? I'm not a little kid.
Don't forget to bring some money with you. Make sure you don't lose your wallet. Also, if you ever get lost, look for a guard station and...
Amelia's acting like she is his mother.
I told you I'm not a kid!
I'll just go ahead and add that to the exchange took place too. that this exchange took place to. Alright.
Somehow, I managed to keep Amelia at the manor.
This should really help mix things up a bit. At the very least, Amelia's absence will have a massive effect on how things pan out at the royal capital.
Keep that in mind and think. What's the correct move to make that will save everyone?
If Amelia doesn't run into the Dust Bandits and doesn't show up to the capital, will the witch cult still attack?
It was the royal capital last time, and the manor before that. The witch cult must have changed their targets because Amelia was in those places.
Assuming that's the real reason, then on to the next problem. If Amelia doesn't defeat the Dust Bandits, will the witch cult movements be impacted?
All I can do is test that theory. If they already know about Amelia, then all of this will be meaningless in the end anyway. If that turns out to be true, then we shouldn't hesitate to fend off the Dust Bandits, at least to save us a future headache. No matter what, though, we have to increase our forces to be prepared for when the witch cult strikes. Building up our relations with the other candidates went well last time, too.
So I'm assuming this is going to try to go out how the anime went now. But with a few different changes. Well, quite a few different changes. The attack on the royal capital shifted dates from the previous attack on the manor, so I couldn't bring up any vital information during our previous talks. It may have been possible to team up with the other candidates to fend off the witch cult last time, when we had formed closer relations.
This time, I'll have to talk to them without Amelia's help. This is gonna be really tough.
Without her, I'm just an associate of hers. Will they even hear me out?
Am I really that blind? This is beyond stupid of me. This isn't an issue of whether I can do something or not. I have to.
Persuading the candidates and strengthening our bonds with each other is an absolutely necessity. That will be my main task once I'm at the capital.
No, there's something else too. The issue with the imposter.
Like I said, I was in reactor, so it's not me.
You have been mumbling to yourself for hours, and it is annoying Betty to no end, I suppose.
I suppose.
Barge in here in the middle of the night and start walking circles around me while muttering to yourself. Do you not realize what room you are in?
What do you mean, Bayako? I know this is a library of sorts, but it's a good place to think things over since no one intrudes on this peaceful atmosphere.
You are the intruder here, I suppose. Betty was enjoying the peace and quiet, and you ruined it, I suppose.
Whoa, don't shout so loud this late at night. You're one restless drill loli, you know that?
I have nothing more to say to you. It has been too long since you were taught a painful lesson, I suppose.
Beatrice lifts her palm and slowly inches her way toward me.
Hang on there, Bayako. I admit I got a bit carried away, but I'm not just playing around here. I was taking this very seriously, even if I was messing around with you.
Then consider this an admission of my annoyance!
Oof. Right as Beatrice shouts at me, it feels like my entire life force has been drained from my body. I collapse shortly after. That's her specialty, a mana drain technique she hit me with before when I was recovering from my injuries. And I remember being instantly knocked out.
I shall let you off with that, I suppose. You would do well to learn something from this.
Damn, you don't pull any punches as usual. It's like my entire skeleton was ripped out of my body.
You good, Subaru?
Wait, ripped out?
I think back to what happened to me, and something strange latches onto my thoughts. I replay the memories in my mind and over to figure out why. Then it hits me.
When Wolf attacked Rem, she said something similar.
He took something from her. That's right. She said she felt like something was stolen within her. But then she didn't have any external injuries. So we didn't know what exactly happened. Wait, Beatrice can do that. She's a spirit. What if Wolf is a spirit? Interesting. Beatrice is a spirit. She can use the mana drain thing. And what if Wolf used mana drain on her because she collapsed, but she woke up slowly after? I don't know. What do you guys think? I think I know the answer now. Wolf did the same thing to Rem as Beatrice did to me. He drained our mana. Yup.
Nice one, Bayako! Thanks to you, I solved one piece of the puzzle! You're the best!
Oh, what? Let go of me, I suppose! Put me down this instant!
You told me before that not many people can use that technique. That was the biggest hint. I can finally see a light at the end of the tunnel! That's my Bayako! You're simply amazing!
Does that mean we're getting close to the end of the series?
How to raise you to
That's
the
sad.
heavens?
Behave yourself, I suppose!
And there he goes.
Good grief. This is no time to be joking around. Betty has been defiled, I suppose. I will have Bubby
Oof.
console me tomorrow. What a detestable man, I suppose.
Oof. I'm sorry, Betty. Day 2 of Loop 3.
I got some good sleep last night. And yet my body hurts all over. I wonder why.
Subaru.
Whoa! Mealy? What are you doing in my room so early in the morning?
I'm pretty sure this is the hallway.
Subaru, this isn't your room. You're in the hallway.
Yup.
Huh?
You fell asleep out here, Subaru. Are you not feeling well? I'm really worried about you. Maybe you shouldn't go to the Royal Capital.
Whoa, 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 hang on. There's nothing wrong with me. There's a really good explanation for this.
And his voice changes.
Damn that Bayako. What a pain.
It seems I was blown out of the library last night by Beatrice, and then I passed out in the hallway. Since I was snoozing away out here, Amelia got very, very worried. Because of that, my efforts in convincing her could go to waste. I have to say this cancels out the good work she did yesterday.
That is not of Betty's concern, I suppose.
I can already hear the anger in her voice in any case.
Hello there, Subaru. I heard about what happened for Miss Amelia. Are you faring better?
Not really.
Yeah. Despite falling asleep in the hallway, I feel pretty great. I hope you'll give Bayako a good scolding for me later. If she's gonna knock me out like that, she should at least send me flying to my bed.
I don't believe she would be so considerate, but I am glad to see you both getting along rather well. Beatrice always refuses to spend any time with me. You've been quite a help in that regard, Subaru.
She's pretty easy to get along with, at least to me. I think she might agree if you went on the offensive. Bayako's a big pushover, you see.
More aggressive. I will keep that in mind.
You should. But anyway, I wanted to talk to you about something before I leave.
I thought you might have something on your mind. You were objecting quite a bit the other day. There is a reason you wanted Miss Amelia to stay here, no?
Yeah.
Glad you caught on to that. It's regarding the source of the information we received.
I presume you speak of the coachman who is outside. There wasn't much time for you to speak with the emissary, but you seem to be...
You're good.
Ah, gosh dang it. I skipped. To be more precise, Tiga and my source are different, but the conversation should go more smoothly if I let Tiga take the fall. I feel sorry for Tiga, but he's gonna have to take the fall with the reputation and his blabbermouth for me.
As you know, the envoy filled me in on a lot of things. For example, at one place, Leaf House Plains, there's some bandits that have taken over the highway there.
So you worried for Miss Amelia's safety and tried to stop her from going to the royal castle. My, so that is what love looks like.
There's more to it than that. There's just so much that's off about this delay of the royal selection. Like, why they're keeping it a secret. Like, I'd never leave my king on a chessboard so vulnerable when things smell so fishy. Or in shogi, for that matter.
Both your references go right over my head, I'm afraid. But I understand where you're coming from.
They don't have chess in their world? Roswell thinks deeply of what I'm telling him. Who just texted me? I'm just gonna ignore that. Roswell thinks deeply on what I told him. As usual, it's difficult to tell what he's thinking through. That clown make up this. But Roswell is very considerate. That's why he's always takes his time to listen to whatever things I have to say. He's honestly a valuable resource to me. Shortly after, Roswell shrugs his shoulders slightly, then looks after ruminating my words.
So that's love.
It's
Yep.
embarrassing when you keep saying it.
I truly understand how you feel, Subaru. But do you have any other leads on retrieving information from the royal capital?
That's the problem. That's exactly what I wanted to talk to you about, Roz.
Since I'm not with Amelia this time, I won't be able to gather any intel on the other candidates so easily. I doubt they would brush off any messengers sent their way, but
It's going to change my impression a lot. Even if they don't shoo me away, I want to avoid getting into a situation where they won't even bother hearing me out.
And then?
If possible, I'd like to request you pen a letter for me. A letter that proves I'm visiting them as a representative of you, Roswell. Or, rather, Amelia.
That's quite the bold request. Subaru, do you understand what you are asking of me right now?
maybe? I don't know.
My recognition of you acting as a delegate of Miss Amelia's, that isn't a small favor. I may not seem like it, but I am of rather high standing. You haven't been serving this manor for very long, and you expect me to grant you such a request? Moreover, how am I to know what you will say to the other candidates when you meet them?
That's fair.
Roswell concerns are reasonable. It's basically like I'm asking him for the numbers and PIN for his bank account. Even if I tell him I won't do anything suspicious, but no one would be stupid enough to just take that at a face of value. Besides, we've only known each other for a month now. After such a short amount of time, I'm partially asking for keys of the kingdom.
I know doing so raises a few alarms. But don't forget, Rem will be with me. If I ever did anything out of line, Rem will definitely stop me.
Aha! You say the strangest things. Then are you telling me to place my trust in Rem and not you?
I think that's better than me trying to convince you otherwise.
Of course. It's much easier to agree to your ostentatious demands in that case. Now then, here you are.
With that, Roswell hands me a single document.
What's this? A letter?
It is the letter you so desperately pined for.
What? You already wrote it out? Even though you were pushing against it this whole time?
Miss Amelia and I will not be accompanying you. I thought you would need it, though I am still reluctant to give it to you in the first place. However, you took a great risk
Roswell's
in suggesting
advice.
it and trying to convince me otherwise. I hope you remain just as bold when conducting business in the royal capital.
You got it. I hope you'll do your best to protect the manor too. Just like with the bandits, no one knows what'll happen.
I know. I would never take your input so lightly.
Alright, now we're heading to the bandits. With Roswell's letter in hand, I head to the front gates and prepare our leave. A dragon carriage has already been prepared for us.
I came to help load her luggage, but where's Rem?
I looked around, not being able to find her anywhere. The luggage only seems to have been partially loaded up too.
It's not like Rem to ever leave a job unfinished. Did something happen?
Subaru, I apologize for abandoning my work.
Oh, Rem, there you are. Why were you in the bushes?
Well, I sensed something bad. So I went to investigate.
Something bad?
Yes. However, it may have just been my imagination.
So she says that she went out of her way to dig through the bushes, so it must have been bothering her quite a bit.
Ominous presence in the morning we depart for the royal capital.
Something is bugging me about this situation. I get the feeling that I should just ignore it.
Subaru?
I just want to figure out what gave you that uneasy feeling and squash it. Rem, I think it's fine if we leave a little later than planned. Let's be as thorough as we can.
Are you certain? It may interfere with our schedule, and it may just end up being nothing.
If it turns out like that, then fine. I'd rather believe you and fail than not believe you and regret it.
Subaru, yes. Rem will do her best.
Oh? Alright then. Let's begin our search in the garden. I don't know what we're looking for exactly, but let's get this started.
Yes, Subaru.
Alright. Oh yeah, I still need to get a picture of a thumbnail. I should gather as much info as possible before searching the garden. Rom so happens to be at the entrance of the manor, so I'll ask if she can help out with our search.
Hey, Rob.
I refuse, Barusu.
I skipped that and just...
Wait, hang on. I haven't even
I mean, it
asked you
sounds
yet.
like...
Oh, that is true. I merely reacted on reflex. But are you sure you are not wasting your time? The chances of me accepting your request are low, Barusu.
I thought that might be the case. So, with that said, Rem, you handle dealing with Ram.
Very well. Sister, I have a request I would like to make of you.
Alright, let's get this thumbnail down.
Of
In
course,
a minute.
Rem. Anything I can do to help.
If it'll let me. Oh,
Just
just
like
won't.
that?
Okay.
She hasn't even made her request yet.
Yes, but Rem would never ask me for anything unreasonable.
Now then, Subaru, please inform Sister of your request.
Yeah, I got it. Wait, was
Of course it was, Barusu. I am listening to Rem's request. What's important is that this is not a request from you.
all right.
Really?
Well, if you'll help us out, it doesn't matter who makes the request.
Why does Rom have to be so blunt?
Anyway, Ram, getting back on track. I want you to help us search the garden.
Search the garden? You do not need assistance to prepare for your departure?
No. See, Rem sensed something troubling in the garden. I want to try to find out what it was.
I see.
It was faint, but it was a very foreboding presence.
That is quite concerning. Very well, Rem. I will help you with your search.
Alright, let's go. I think it's too soon to search the garden. I need to prepare more. What do I need to prepare for? Ominous presence to Rem Sense. I feel like investigating. Oh yeah, I need it. Okay, let's talk
Hey,
to Rem.
Rem. Now, this is purely hypothetical, but let's say someone's lurking in the garden.
Are you referring to that foreboding presence?
Yeah. Anyway, back to the garden. If someone suspicious were hiding out there, where do you think they'd be?
If I were to hide in the garden, my first thought would be to hide in the shadows of the bushes.
I see. The bushes. It's true. It'd be possible to hide among the thick vegetation.
Alright. Can I go in the kitchen?
I want to talk to Bayako, but I don't think I'll run into her if I go this way.
In order to see her, it's better to go the west wing. So, this way.
Alright, time to consult Bayako. Off I go. And that's what happened, Bayako.
What exactly happened, I suppose? Betty does not understand what you are saying.
Oof.
Come on, don't make me repeat myself. Rem sensed something bad in the garden, so I want to find out what it was. But unfortunately, we don't have much time left before we leave. That's why I came to you for help. I want you to help Ram and Rem search around the garden. And let me know if you have any idea what that unpleasant presence might be.
Why did you not start with that? I had no idea what you were talking about until just now.
But we just get each other, don't we? You're supposed to know what I'm talking about before I even say anything.
What are you going on about, I suppose? It is the exact opposite. No matter how many
Let's
words
get that
come from your
thumbnail.
mouth, Betty will never understand you, I suppose.
Oh, come on. Don't be like that. I know a lot's happened, but I thought we've been getting pretty close. If you keep treating me so coldly, I'll go crying to Mealy. I might just tell Puck that Bayako's been bullying me.
He's pulled that card before.
Bullying you? I resent that, I suppose. When did Betty ever... Why are you crying, I suppose? Betty has done nothing to you.
I'm gonna tell Puck on you.
I will cooperate with you just this once, so cease your sobbing.
Yes! You won't go back on your word, right?
I am not happy about it, but I will help you this time.
Alright, ask if she knows anything or score the area. Let's scour the area.
We have more people now that Bayako joined our ranks. So do we just keep looking around the garden?
What are you going on about, I suppose? We barely have any people. You, the sisters, Betty. There are not enough people on hand to thoroughly inspect such a large garden.
And what do we do? We need to figure something out.
That is not something we can decide here. At the very least, not when you and Betty are the only ones present, I suppose.
Good point. We should all think of a better way to search the garden. Well, I'm sorry, Bayako, but can you come with me to the entrance of the mansion? Rom and Rem are...
Oh, fine.
Oh, gosh dang
I
it.
will help you this time, I suppose.
What is your choice?
Bayako, Rom, Rem, thanks for helping out. I want to investigate the garden for anything suspicious.
Whatever it is that Rem sensed, I need to find out its true identity. It'd be too late if something were to happen because of it. Even if something minor, I need to squash any feelings of unease. There's also the possibility that it isn't so trivial a matter. That's why Amelia wasn't included in our little search party of the garden. So long as I'm unsure of the danger we face, I have her getting involved.
Speaking of which, Barusu, have you finished preparing for your departure? You are Barusu after all, so I figure you may have forgotten something important.
Don't worry. All that's left now is to load up the dragon carriage. And since most of our things have been loaded on there already, we can leave at any time. Isn't that right, Rem?
Yes, our preparations are almost complete. Just as Subaru said, we are ready to depart at a moment's notice.
In that case, you should hurry along to the royal capital, I suppose. The earlier you arrive, the better you can make use of your time there.
Oh, don't be like that, Bayako. Once I get to the royal capital, we won't be able to see each other again for a while, you know?
That is exactly what Betty wants, I suppose. And besides, what exactly is it that we are trying to find in the garden?
Something.
You say you wish to search for whatever that unpleasant presence was, but that is too vague, I suppose.
I apologize for causing you all this trouble because of what I sensed, Miss Beatrice.
No, it's not your fault, Rem. In fact, I'm glad you sensed something was off. All right, everyone, listen up. Anything could happen. Delaying the royal selection is already a serious matter. On top of that, Mealy being a royal candidate puts her in a position to be targeted by a whole bunch of people. If something feels even remotely worrying, I want to stamp it out immediately. I don't want to regret anything later, thinking, if only I did something back then.
But as Miss Beatrice stated, we do not know what it is we are looking for.
Yeah, that is true, but it's a hunch.
Without more concrete directions, we do not know what to do here.
Yeah, I know. That's why I had everyone gather up like this. Right, Bayako?
Why are you asking Betty that, I suppose?
You're the one who said we should decide what to do after we all got together.
Betty did say something to that effect, I suppose. But you are the one who will decide on the particulars. Tell us what you are thinking first, I suppose.
I see. I guess you're right. I'm the one who put this all together after all. Alright then. It's just a hunch, but I've got a pretty good idea of where we should focus on our search.
That is good to hear. If you had not put any thought into this, Betty would have returned to the library without a second thought, I suppose.
Ha.
Whoa, just like that? Good thing I gathered info before consulting you, Beiko.
So then, Subaru, what is this location you are referring to? Rem would like to prioritize searching the area you believe to be most suspect.
Alright, turning point. Okay, there's 2 question marks.
Now what?
Gosh dang it.
I do have my suspicions of the garden.
I don't have anything. I can't make a move.
But is it really okay to just point to a location? Maybe we should discuss this more first.
What are you talking about, I suppose? If you have some place in mind, you should tell us.
True, but that's a lot to put on me, you know?
Perhaps
I
you
have
are
not
right,
been
I
playing this
suppose.
game smart.
But Betty wants to observe your resolve, having gotten all of us involved in this plan.
I am disappointed in you, Barasu, not being able to state what is so clearly on your mind.
I'm sorry, Subaru. Rem didn't intend to trouble you.
No, I'm the one at fault here. When the time called for it, I couldn't sort out my own thoughts.
That is enough. Betty will abide by Betty's own judgment, I suppose.
I will do the same, Barasu.
Yeah, go ahead. Whatever it is could be lurking anywhere in the garden. I'm sorry I can't be of more help, but I'd appreciate it if everyone searches based on their own judgment.
It's okay, Subaru. Rem will search diligently for the source of the ominous presence as well.
Oh, Rem.
Speaking of which, Barasu, what do you plan on doing? Do not tell me that you are merely going to sit around and twiddle your thumbs.
Of course not! I'm gonna work as hard as anyone!
But your work ethic is pathetic. You need to work at least 2 times harder than anyone else to have any effect.
You're right,
Wow.
but still, I was just using a figure of speech! I'll work 2 times harder than anyone!
Perhaps I was wrong. 3 times harder might be necessary.
Really? Rom, why do you have to do
Fine,
this?
okay! I'll work 3 times harder than everyone!
I see. But you working so much harder than us is unrealistic. Even being on par with us is unlikely.
Sorry, Rom. Forget about the whole multiplication thing. Anyway, I want to search the garden now. If you find something, no matter how trivial it may be, let me know. I'm counting on all of you. Beiko, Rom, Rem, let's get this investigation started.
Alright. To the mission. Let's get right into this. Alright, so, you know what? I'm gonna actually leave you guys on another cliffhanger. Because we've basically hit that point. This is actually gonna be one of the longest videos I record for this series. And,
Stopping to
yeah.
rest. How slothful.
I hope, like always, I really hope you guys enjoy this series. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.